Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we have the Lost Ark release patch notes. We are taking a deep dive, we are reading all through it, and I will try to explain what those changes mean. And this time I will actually not stream it. Basically, if you're wondering what happened, I was hitting the wrong button and I was basically streaming it instead of recording it. So I'm recording this here again. No, I was not going through all the patch notes yet. There's still a big chunk missing. And let's do this right this time. All right. So, game content, user experience. Thanks to player feedback on the new prologue experience during closed beta, we have added an additional welcome challenge feature. The welcome challenge helps guide new players through a subset of optional missions. Initial missions will support and teach players game mechanics and increase the complexity as you move into later areas of the game. The welcome challenge will be visible after reaching Pride Home with a new character. So this makes sense because there is a tutorial island in Lost Ark, but that tutorial island is more focused on MMOs and RPGs in general and how that works, and they're not really teaching you about how Lost Ark actually works. It's like a bit weird when you think about it, right? You think that they would make a tutorial about the game you are playing and not necessarily just about general introduction. So having like a welcome challenge for explaining to the people how actually Lost Ark works, I think is a fantastic idea, and I'm pretty sure there will be like an interface or something for this, which will accommodate this whole new feature. But that should be good. Character and roster update. Level cap increased, so roster is the expedition level, and this is your account-wide experience. Or well, account server-wide experience, because everything is focused on the server, and if you're moving to another server, you start from scratch. Level cap increased to 60, up from 55 in the closed beta. Each level earned after 50 grants the player additional skill points. Yeah, so we are now up to date to South Korea. This is now the South Korean level cap. And if you are thinking, wait, I thought level cap was 50. It is 50. Endgame is 50. Everything beyond 50 is just additional skill points, and the amount of XP you need just from 50 to 51 is, I think, half, if not even more, the amount of XP you needed from 1 to 50. Like, it is insane. So don't think about it too much. It will just come over time. Roster level cap increased to 250, up from 100, and it is now not called expedition level anymore. But yeah, this is also South Korean, so we are now at the level cap of South Korea. Removed the summoner and added the sorcerer subclass. I mean, we knew about this now for a few months, and it makes sense. Like Amazon has tried to, how to call it, not make it anime. You know, like they try to remove like a lot of the anime classes from the game, which I find a little bit unfortunate. And they added like a lot of the westernized classes, right? Like the summoner is still a bit of anime style, whereas the sorceress is clearly rooted in Western mages. So it makes sense that they are putting in the sorceress. But I hope we are getting the other classes soon, because there are tons of classes I want to play and which are not in Lost Ark at the release, so yay! Dungeon and raid content. 3 new continents has been added, Yon, Phaeton and Punica, and with that we are up to date with South Korea. You will basically hear me saying this quite a bit. Respective field bosses additions, yeah, that makes sense, because if you're adding a new continent and you don't have the bosses there, then why you do this to begin with. Chaos Dungeon, they added all the Chaos Dungeons to the game, up to tier 3. Like, this is South Korean level. Yep, we're up to date with South Korea. Your Phaeton Chaos Gates have been added, that makes sense. During closed beta, content up to the Phantom Palace was available for players. For launch, we have also added the following Abyss dungeons. And that is, again, all the Abyss dungeons which are available in-game right now. So we are up to date with South Korea. The same goes with the Guardian raids. It's kind of funny that they call them tier 5, even though they are basically tier 3s, right? Like even in-game, you see like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, but they call them tier 5 here. I don't know why they're doing this. But again, those are all the Guardian raids which are available in South Korea. So we are completely up to date here. We introduced the Shadespire Tower, which is from floor to 1 to 50 during the closed beta. For launch, we have also added Fatespite floors, which is basically the tier 2 to tier 3 tower, and they added that as well. The same goes with the Cube, the Elite Cube, which is tier 2, and Dimension Cube, which is tier 3, basically got added for the full release, and now we are up to date to South Korea again. Man, I'm really saying that a lot. Island and sea content. During closed beta, roughly 70 islands were accessible. We are introducing 3 more continents for launch, where we already talked about that, with 27 additional islands to discover and explore in the Procyon zone. So we basically had, excuse me, we basically had the right side of the map available to us, and now they are unlocking the left side of the map and unlocking everything there. And again, we're up to date with South Korea. Co-op quest added, sea gates added, additional ghost ship added. This makes sense. Those are all like the things they would add to the left side of the map. And again, it would be weird if you were opening up the left side of the map and you were not adding like all the features which have already been on the right side to the left side. That would be weird. So yeah, duh, that they are doing this. Scheduled activities. Players can check for 4 types of content through Procyon Compass, and the activity times are based on the local time of the server region. Yeah, we have heard about that. If you drop out or leave the area while participating in these activities, the reward counter will not increment, and you will have another chance to earn a reward. Neato. Field bosses, chaos gates, and ghost ships. Following the day of the week schedule, the field boss, chaos gate, and ghost ship activities will take place every hour between 10 a.m. until 5 a.m. on the next day. And where were we? I just lost this for a second because I scrolled too much. There you go. Sorry. You can participate every hour, but you will not get any additional rewards once you have exhausted all opportunities to receive rewards. The limits are 1 reward per day for the field boss and chaos gate, and 1 reward per week for the ghost ship. Yeah, so you do this once a day or once a week, and then you will not touch it. You could still participate in it, but you will not get any loot. So yeah, makes sense. Adventure Island. Following the schedule listed to the in-game calendar, the same Adventure Island will unlock 3 to 4 times a day. On weekends, a total of 2 groups of Adventure Islands will appear within the schedule. Example, Ghost Whisper Island, Lagoon Island, Snowpang Island 3 times, and Monte Island, Harmony Island, Phantom Wing Island 3 times. Adventure Islands has 2 types of reward. Permanent rewards, island token and skill runes, which are obtainable once per roster. Repeatable rewards, gold, silver, card packs, pirate coins, which can be obtained once per day per roster. So, if you were like, what? What is he talking about? This is too much. Okay, calm down, take a breather. You don't have to understand this right now. This is specific endgame content, which will become much, much clearer to you the moment you actually reach the endgame content of Lost Ark. So if this is too much right now, don't you worry about it. It doesn't matter. You will not do this before you not reach level 50. And then when you reach level 50, you have your boat, you understand what the islands are, and so on and so forth. Like, this becomes much, much more understandable, and then it will be alright. Stronghold content. Stronghold Knowledge Vault has been added. With the Knowledge Vault, you can take progress that has already been experienced on one character and transfer it to a different character on the same account. You can use the Knowledge Vault by completing the following. Complete the Stronghold quest, first steps, progress a character to level 50, complete Northvern's main quest, Alien's Gift, complete the Nothing is Impossible for Psychene's quest offered by the Stronghold's butler, Adeline. When receiving knowledge transfer, you can only transfer knowledge for one continent at a time. Transfer go in order of the storyline, starting from Northvern. Once knowledge transfer has begun, you cannot cancel. You cannot do instant complete. Character receiving a knowledge transfer cannot use the power pass. Knowledge Vault will be available for Northvern up to Phyton. So this is a mechanic. I will actually have a video for this coming out very soon, and this is why Lost Ark is pretty amazing when it comes to alt characters, because you can just go to your Stronghold, choose a level 10 character and say, level this character up automatically, give it endgame equipment, and do that in 8 hours. You click go, you wait for 8 hours, and after 8 hours, bam, the character is endgame. Which is amazing. So if you are struggling with choosing a certain character, don't. It's super simple in this game to get another character up to endgame. Yep. Gears and Tiers updated the Tier 1 to Tier 3 progression support. After reaching a certain item level and completing Continent World Quest, you will get accessories and ability stones in your mailbox that will help with adventures. The old progression support chest will no longer be given. Okay, that's not really a biggie. For easier progression, there will be various effects to aid honing for each tier. Yeah, so when back in the beta, you basically got like a box every like 10 levels or so, which would give you some new equipment or whatnot. You didn't need that. You didn't need that, and so it's okay. But they are putting in other things. Tier 1, 100 success for the Tier 1 gear from level 1 to 15 honing. 2 level increase when succeeding Tier 1 gear, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 honing. 20% decrease in XP required for Tier 1 gear level 1 to 15 honing. 100 decrease in cost required for Tier 1 gear level 1 to 15 honing leap. Damn! Wow! That is crazy. Damn. So if you don't know what this means, let me explain. Honing is the endgame stuff you do to actually increase the power of your equipment, right? Like you are not like farming new equipment every 2 new dungeons or so. Like you are keeping your equipment and then you are slowly upgrading it. And this is what it's called, honing. And normally, and I say normally, in the South Korean version and even in the Russian version of the game, the more you hone your character, or more you hone your gear, the lower is the success chance of the honing. And it also takes relatively long. But wow, it will increase by 2 levels. So you're basically sprinting to Tier 1 and Tier 2. That is insane. 100% decrease in cost required for Tier 1 gear in a honing leap. Wow. That okay. Like, basically what Amazon did here is they put us on the fast lane and they were like, yeah, you know what? Like, we all know you want to get into the end game very quickly. We don't want to be behind on South Korea. And so we just let you speed up the tier sequence. Like, just to understand what this means, like we were always asking ourselves, okay, what is the plan of Amazon when it comes to the West? Like, how far behind South Korea do they want to keep us? Like 3 months, 6 months, like the Russians most of the time? Like, what was their plan? And we never could fully grasp that. But this is basically telling me, at least, they want us up at South Korean point effectively immediately. There is no way of keeping you back. You will maybe be a month behind South Korea, maybe 2 months behind South Korea. But that's about it. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. An increase in base success rate of tier 3, decrease in XP required, decrease in material cost required, increase in base success rate. Okay, so this is still fast, but not as crazy, which makes sense because tier 3 is the end tier 3 right now. Like, this is when you are reaching tier 3, you are basically at the point where South Korea is. That's insane. So that means we are probably getting the abyssal raids super quickly. I mean, they have, if you have seen, I have also made a video about this, the director's trailer for the release of Lost Ark. They've basically showed the abyssal raids. And they were talking about them as if they were already in the game. And I was like, that's weird. No, it isn't. Why would you show this? And now I wouldn't be surprised if we are getting the abyssal raids in like 1 or 2 months. Maybe 3 months if they're waiting longer. But we will get them very quickly. This is just... I didn't saw that coming. That's crazy. Events and rewards. Similar to closed beta, we will be running an attendance bonus event at the start of the launch. Adventurers will be able to claim various rewards each day they log in. Wow, okay, those rewards were pretty big in the beta, and everyone was assuming this was just because it was a beta. Improvement made for players' safety, including reported for messages in an entity in-game. Okay, updated guild menu, polish and update to the store UI, added the ability for users to add an account, added the ability for players to camera, integrated presets have been added. DirectX 11 support has been added as a default setting. A player can switch made to DirectX 9 mode if they feel their performance is effective. So, by the way, just to talk again about how close are we to South Korea. DirectX 11 came out in South Korea about a month ago. Even less than that. And it is such a big feature people have been waiting for. Because DirectX 11, if you don't know what that is, this is basically the API between your game and your hardware. And it's nearly every game is using it. Nearly every game is using it. And to put it in simple terms, DirectX 9 is now 20 years old? I would say about 20 years, if I don't look it up, but I'm pretty close. Maybe 17, 18 years, something like that. And DirectX 11 is about 10 years old now. We are now at DirectX 12 Ultimate, so that's the newest version. And every time we have been going up higher in DirectX, graphics to improve normally. This is not happening here, but what is far more important, it will utilize your hardware better. So you will actually get more performance out of the game. And that's good, because Lost Ark, as much as I adore and love this game, the performance of Lost Ark sometimes was abysmal. Like, even high-end hardware, you could go down in FPS quite a bit because it was not utilizing your hardware. Like, your hardware could be at like 20% usage and you were dropping frames. You were lagging because DirectX 9 cannot really utilize like the newest hardware fully. So good on them. This is awesome. New features. We are including 15 playable classes. Okay, we know that. That's not really a new feature, but okay. To match the Sorcerer release in Korea, we will also include the Sorcerer Advanced class, replacing the closed beta option of the Summoner. What? To match the Sorcerer release in Korea, we will also include the Sorcerer Advanced class. Yeah, we are getting the Sorcerer. Yeah, we know all about that. The Striker class has also been introduced since closed beta. Okay, we knew that. I mean, it was in the closed beta. Global chat has been added to allow players to communicate with others in the other worlds of the same server region, which is pretty neat. Each chat room can hold a maximum of 100 players. Players can see the previous chat logs before they enter the room and chat messages that were sent when they have logged off, which is fantastic. Korean VO has been added as a DLC pack on Steam. Please note, this only affects spoken dialogue to allow players to experience the original VO of the game. Text options are restricted to English, French, German, and Spanish. You have to go into your Steam and you have to look for the DLC there. This is not something you are downloading in-game. This is something you would download through Steam. Keep that in mind. For a full list of accessibility features added, please visit our accessibility options article. Text-to-speech, speech-to-text, great. Added the Room of Growth, which is accessible after completing the Northern Barren World quest after Image of the Rift. This feature allows you to experience and learn additional game modes that Lost Ark has to offer, such as mounts, pets, crafting, engraving, disassembling, and refining. Okay, that makes sense. So this is, I remember what this is. It's another tutorial thing if you don't know what Lost Ark has to offer and you want the game to tell you that. Adventurers will find a menu accessible through a widget that showcases the active field bosses Ghost Ship, Ghost Chaos Gates, and current adventure islands. Need added adventure islands. This is a new activity that directs users to islands that are only available during a certain time. Once on the island, you will be given a co-op quest and must face the boss in order to receive a variety of rewards. Cool. Custom PvP matches and spectating has been added. That's kind of weird. Like, this has been in the beta. Yeah. That's kind of odd. Westernization. I like this. Let's talk about Westernization, and then we are nearly done. Free-to-play focused. As we expressed in our previous release notes, Amazon and Smilegate RPG work together in fine-tuning contents. One example is few more boxes in raids are now obtainable with gold instead of crystal. What? Wow. That's crazy. So basically in the other regions, you could gain more loot by paying money. Doesn't exist anymore. Moderation mechanisms and messaging has been put in place to support players' safety, keeping Lakesia free from behavior that is against our code of conduct. Okay, that makes sense. Language filtering, currency exchange. Updated the currency exchange, make it more understandable what's being exchanged and earned through the auctions. Power Pass and Adventure Path. There are two ways a Power Pass will be provided to adventurers. When the players complete the main quest from North Vern, a single Vern Power Pass token will be provided via in-game mail. After using the first Power Pass, a second Power Pass will be granted to players via in-game mail. After the two Power Passes are received, you will not be able to earn a third Power Pass this way. So, This stirred some questions because people thought they actually have to watch the cutscenes. This was now confirmed by Rox that is not the case. You can skip through all the cutscenes. You don't have to watch them. You will still receive your power pass. Like, no need. So don't you worry about it. But yeah, some people thought like, wait, do I have to watch all the cutscenes for this? And no, you don't. You don't. She has that confirmed on Twitter. The adventure pass can be started immediately after consuming the power pass on an alternate character. This feature compressed the level 10 to 50 segment for an alternate character through a story told by Beatrice. It will guide you on the essentials and progression specific to your class, allowing you to relive the content quickly through the new character. Completing the Adventures Path quest chain will equip your character with the gear appropriate for Vern content. I have a video on this coming up a bit, but you can skip this if you want to. You won't. And that's all I can say. Store. Post-closed beta, we collaborated with Smilegate in fine-tuning products to accommodate the market of the Western players. The full store will be open starting early access, including Mary's Secret Store, set with its own schedule. Crystalline Hour will be available at launch and is the exclusive premium service for the Western users. The service allows adventurers to enjoy an array of convenience. Yeah, we know that. Additional functions will be added to the Crystalline Aura at launch. Odds information. Some products acquired with crystals or royal crystals that are purchasable in the store contain random rewards, like card packs. The breakdown of the odds of receiving those rewards is published online on our odds page, available when the head start begins. This is super duper important for Belgium and the Netherlands. This means that Lost Ark might be actually come to those regions sooner than later. Because right now, they have basically laws which require you to show those odds. Whenever something random is coming up with loot boxes, you have to show the odds. If you don't do that, you cannot release your game there. That was one of the reasons why Belgium and Netherlands didn't get Lost Ark at release. This means actually that there is now a chance that the game will be available there. So that's fantastic. And that's it. That's all they wrote. And that is a lot. And this is just fantastic. Like, this is some amazing additions. I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked how quickly they are bringing us up to speed with South Korea. Like, when we first heard that Lost Ark is coming to the West through Amazon, we were like, oh, do we start with Season 2? Probably. Are we starting at the beginning of Season 2? Like, which features will be available? Like, how far do they cut us back? Right, there were so many questions we had regarding that, because when you looked at the other regions like Japan or Russia in comparison to South Korea, they were so far behind. Like 6 months, we're pretty much normal there. Like, I think with this, we're actually ahead of Russia in certain areas. If I'm not mistaken, I would have to look it up because this is just from the top of my head. But I think in some endgame stuff, we are now ahead of Russia, which is kind of crazy to think about. But this pretty much shows the commitment of Amazon for Lost Ark, and that is good. And This is just great. By the way, I will put the patch notes link in the video description. We are done with the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you are on your way out, I would appreciate if you leave a like. If you want to get more Lost Ark videos, prepare, because we have tons of videos coming up in the next few days, and we will continue to make videos here on the channel because, well, I've been waiting for this game for 7 years. I've creating content for this game for 7 years, on and off at the beginning, but you get the idea. And I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Lost Ark content. I will also have daily gaming news here, reaction videos I love to do, and again, tips and tricks for new games. And we are also streaming from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 a.m. East Coast time, which is 2 p.m. UK time, and 3 p.m. Central European time. And you can find me on trovo.live/ChaosMole. You will also find the link in the video description. And we're always talking about gaming news, and then we are playing the newest and hottest games. Dying Light 2 is one of the games we have. We have Sifu. Lost Ark will be the main focus in the next few days, if not weeks, so be prepared for that. We are also planning a full playthrough of Elden Ring. We will check out probably early Warhammer Total War 3, which I'm also very much looking forward to. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Stay safe.